Hi guys, this is Giga from 2100 News. We're live from Kiev. Today I'm here with one of the main speakers of this event. Actually, I would say the main one, because if you look at the audience, he's pretty much the one who gives them something to think about. Gordon Einstein. How are you, Gordon?
I'm excellent, and it's good to see you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm following you around the world as your #1 groupie, so don't be nervous. But you know,
I'm so.
it's an honor.
You're making me blush now.
No, everything's great. I'm happy to be here.
It's great, Gordon. Your last speech was really insightful in Istanbul. You gave one today. Was it different than the other one?
It's an evolution of there's a couple, I wouldn't say canned, but a couple themes I'm trying to promote or get across to the world. The theme of this was how to do a compliant U.S. capital raise in 2018, or how to do a compliant ICO, taking into account U.S. capital markets. But it's been evolving over time. It's been evolving because the law and the position of the SEC has been evolving. It's been evolving also because I become vastly more sensitized to the need of working with regulators to come up with a good solution for what blockchain and crypto has to offer. There's so much potential here, and the potential is getting realized. It's not going to go away. It's going to happen. The question is, does it happen quickly or slowly? Does it happen efficiently or inefficiently? Is there more crime than we can handle? I mean, there's crime in everything in life, but does it get out of control or does it get done right? And I think when we talked last, we were talking about how, crypto needs to kind of grow up and get closer to the regulators. The regulators, in a way, need to kind of grow up and get closer to crypto, and then need to make friends and hug and do everything, and go on nice walks together.
And run the revolution together, right?
And run the revolution or the evolution, depending on the jurisdiction. But what's going to be a revolution is, I've seen the future, and the future is a planetary commercial law system that is given birth by crypto and blockchain, because these things are inherently planetary. They're not global. They're not like the whole world, but taking into account countries. They're planetary, right? And the peer-to-peer nature of them can only be addressed on a planetary basis, right? The fact that you're not going through an intermediary, you don't need to go through an exchange. You don't need to go through a bank. You don't need to go through a government. Because they're peer-to-peer, the only thing that can possibly wrestle with that is a planetary system. And that's great. We need a planetary system. It's ridiculous that we have 1,000 different kinds of corporations, like a Nevada corporation, a Florida corporation, a Puerto Rico corporation, a French, whatever they call it in France, I don't even know, Société Générale, I think. That's nuts. And the fact that people are paying guys like me to figure out which jurisdiction and which corporation with all their little micro law, it slows down humanity, and I'm over that. Let's move things along.
In Istanbul, we spoke about, there was their event when SEC sent out subpoenas, and you gave us your take about that. Well, now when some time has passed, can we do a follow-up of that?
We can do a follow-up, which is, there's two aspects of that. So let's take a step back. The general idea is, so here's what a subpoena is for your audience, so everyone's perfectly clear. It's a legal order or request to either produce documents and or give testimony, like go into a room, raise your hand, and say what's up. The SEC has broad subpoena powers, and they're enforceable by federal courts. The general idea is that subpoenas are issued either in connection with a live investigation, which is scary, or they're being issued because there's a possible investigation or possible action that's going to happen, and they're gathering some early information. What people don't necessarily realize is that you can subpoena anyone. You can subpoena the victim of a securities crime. You can subpoena anyone who has any kind of relationship to it. So the subpoenas don't necessarily go to people who have done anything wrong. They can go to people who somehow have knowledge of something that went wrong. And the SEC does not say why they're issuing a subpoena. So you have no idea if you're the subject of investigation or the victim or anything. They don't even tell you if there's an investigation. And they don't tell you if an investigation is over. You're just kind of sitting there, with this sword of Damocles over your head going, how do I live my life now? So from my perspective, I find it fantastically unlikely that the SEC had 80 live investigations going and sent out these subpoenas because they were really trying to get these people. I think there's two things going on. Or three. There is some actual wrongdoing, so that's clear. Number one. Number two is, I think they're trying to chill the market. That's the expression, chill the market in the United States. And it worked. it freaked everyone out. People were like, oh no, ICOs are illegal. And I saw so many bad headlines saying that ICOs got banned because subpoenas went out. A subpoena is just a request for information. If you follow the law, yes, you'll get nervous when you get a subpoena, but you can go in there and say, look, I followed the law. Now what? So, and I think also, and this is a little bit, if true, an abuse of the subpoena process. I think what the SEC was doing sort of an intelligence operation, like a data gathering operation, where they said, we want to see how these things are working from the inside so that we can understand them. So rather than talking to the industry, they said basically just hand us all your documents, give us your testimony, and we'll figure things out. Well, that's kind of the point I'm making. Even if that's within their legal right to do, and it very well may be, if I'm an entrepreneur and I'm having to decide between Estonia or Ukraine or the US, am I going to go where the government's giving me a license to do what I'm doing and says, come on in, by the way, how can we help? Or am I going to go where everyone's, big scary federal government doesn't even tell you if you're under investigation? They need to use their brain, okay? And it actually is in the 1933 Securities Act, Section 2B of that act, like number 2, letter B, says when doing its actions, when doing rulemaking, the SEC shall take into account, competition, efficiency, and capital formation. Have any charges actually been brought? Not that I'm aware of. Now, is anyone making a secret deal with the SEC to not announce things? I don't even know if the SEC can do that. There may be deals or negotiations happening right now, but in terms of actual legal results, I haven't seen a single one. But people are freaked out, and now I'm having to go to Kiev and Istanbul and everywhere else and explain, no, a subpoena does not mean criminal charges, nor does it mean you're the subject of that investigation yourself. You just don't know. So, I think the SEC, I hate, but this sounds odd to say in 2018, but I'm a patriotic American. I love my country. I love the world. I love it here, but I want the U.S. to do well. I don't want to win, beat up other people, but I want to do well. It really bugs me that people are going to leave the United States because we're being dense. And we have enough problems with federal government and state law. Well, we're making things more complex now. This is nuts.
I think it's right on point that you said that they're just trying to chill the market. It's moving too fast.
Well, too fast is a value judgment. It's moving fast. Is it moving too fast? I don't know.
I think for them.
Well, clearly for them. But if you're, what can I say? If you're afraid of social contact, you're going to be nervous about a normally populated room. If you get my metaphor, it's just, they have. I agree with regulation. I agree with the regulators. We need regulators. I don't want to live in some state of nature where some guy's gonna walk down the street and hit me on the head with a club and take my stuff. I want law, and rather than having knights on the battlefield with swords, the original meaning of the word trial, I'd rather have a trial in court. Okay, that's where the whole thing came from. So I want regulators. I want regulation. I think enabling regulation that works with this industry can make it blossom. I was just in Lithuania and I was having this conversation. It's one thing when you have something banned, okay, then you know not to do it. So in Kiev, again, people like walking in front of cameras because they're very. Hi world. Okay, so we're gonna roll with this because I really like these guys. 2100, by the way, is the best. Okay, I was just speaking with regulators in Lithuania, and when you ban something, well, that's clear. You know what to do with that. You don't do it, or you go somewhere else. When you have no regulation, or that's unclear, but you can kind of innovate in that environment. Or when you have what's called soft regulation, letters or communications, but not law. You have maybe a little bit more permission to do something, and you can innovate. What's a gift from regular heaven is a license to do something. They say, now we can do this. You have a piece of paper that is issued under national law saying you actually really do have the right to do this. It's not a guess. It's not someone on the phone telling you something. It's not an email. Here's your license. Here's your exchange license. Here's your issuing stock license. Here's your driver's license. Okay? So, the idea of a license is you don't necessarily automatically have the right to do something, but the government has a nice, predictable legal structure, and they give you a piece of paper or a token that gives you a license to do something. So the way we should be moving is license regulation, where we issue license to people to engage in certain activities. That's where we need to go. Okay, so God bless regulation. I want licenses that are rational and make sense to be given to people who are doing things like running exchange, issuing tokens, all that other good stuff. I mean, that would be fantastic.
And that's why you said that the regulations could actually make it blossom, of course.
Yeah, it's like if I'm a large here's the thing. If I'm running Goldman Sachs, I'll just pick them. I no particular opinion about them. If I'm running Goldman Sachs and I'm deciding whether or not to invest in a crypto exchange traded fund or just a crypto fund that's not on an exchange, it's not just me, the president of Goldman Sachs, having to make that kind of decision. I have shareholders, I have federal responsibility, I have a board I have to report to. So even if I want to go do it, it's not necessarily enough for my lawyers to say this is probably legal, or for the government to say this is probably illegal. If I'm running that huge institution, need explicit legal authorization to do several things, even if I want to do them. Because when the stakes get that high, the bigger the stakes, the more narrow people's behavior. Well, if they have a license where they can go here, then all of a sudden we're giving permission to the Goldman Sachs of the world to get involved. We're giving permission to all these people who have responsibilities and have to report to other people and have stakeholders. We're giving them permission to go do it. Okay, and that's a benefit of having solid law and licenses. You can enable these sort of things. So legislation when done right enables the future. That's what I want, and that's why I'm globetrotting the world.
Gordon, I think that was a great finish to our interview. Guys, I have to let Gordon go. He's so wanted from the public. Everybody wants to talk with you. Everybody wants to consult with you.
Everyone wants to talk in front of the camera and just be seen with us.
I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for taking a portion from your time. You're a true expert, and there's your information. And if you think that the blockchain and the cryptocurrencies are going away, I'm going to use Gordon's world. Fantastically unlikely. Thank you very much.